In this video, I will show you how to properly read a rate sheet. A rate sheet is something that is distributed from a wholesale lender to a broker every day because every day the interest rate fluctuates. So for example, when you get a rate sheet, you'll get almost all the products that are offered by that particular lender. So here we are, this is an example of a rate sheet. Let me make it a little smaller so I can scroll down. As you can see, there are Fannie Mae 15-year fix, 30-year fix, Freddie Mac, and so on. Scroll down a little more, they have the relief finance and really a lot of specialty programs, Fannie Mae DU Refi Plus, which allows you to go up to 105%. Okay, state tiers and adjustments, and so on. So generally in a rate sheet you'll see a lot of different programs, but how to read it is pretty much the same. So let's start off with the classic 30-year fix, which everyone is accustomed to. So let's direct your attention over here. Now with the 30-year fix, it's pretty straightforward. You pretty much look at the rate, which is down in this column. Decide what rate you want. Do you want to have par rating, which means you don't make any money, which is right over here? Or do you want to make a little money on the back, which is the yield spread premium? Let me first explain what that means. So there are two notations. One notation is you see the pricing in 100, a little less than 100, and a little more than 100. That notation pretty much means if it's less than 100, then the loan costs some money. There's a cost to it. And if the pricing is over 100, right here, anything over 100, that is the yield spread premium that the lender gives you. So for instance, if you were to quote the client a 30-year fix at 4.75, then you have to pay the difference between 1 minus 0.875, which in this case is about an eighth, 0.125. Okay? So you can either charge the client or pay it up front yourself. Okay? Now on the second step, if you go up the rate by 0.125, which is an eighth, then you see you're actually making 0.443 by charging him that rate or her that rate. And generally, mortgage rates are quoted by the eighth. So every increment is by an eighth. An eighth is 0.125. Okay? So after you've determined what interest rate to give them, and you also want to determine what the lock period is. So you don't want to just focus on the 10-day lock because realistically that might not be enough time to close. So you want to start off with a strategy that tells yourself, how much do I want to make on this loan? So you consider the front end, which is the origination fee, and the back end, which is the yield spread premium. So let's say you want to make a point total. So you can either charge the client, assuming you want to do a 30-day fix lock, you can either charge the client 5.375 and achieve that 1 point right here. You simply 1.2, a little more than a point. Or conversely, you can charge the client, let's say 4.875. Okay, you only get 0.25 there as a rebate, but as a result of that, you may charge a little upfront origination, 0.75, to cover the loss that you had over here. So total, that will be 1 point. So that's how you read the rate sheet over here on the pricing. Now the pricing is just a start. Then you have your adjustments. And for this particular lender, they have state tier adjustments. So for instance, we're in California. And if you're in California, you're going to be in tier 4. Okay, so these adjustments will apply. And they also have cash out refinance price adjustments. How to read that is if you're doing cash out refinance and your LTV, or loan to value, is it less than 60%, then you subtract, you get an extra rebate. Now if it gets higher, then you get lesser rebate. Okay, so pretty much it subtracts from your overall rebate scenario. And there are other adjustments like property type. If you're buying a 2-unit, then the hit is 1 point. And that's why sometimes you hear mortgage brokers quoting, oh wow, if you're doing an investment property, then you have to pay this price. This is right over here. Investment property. If it's 75 to 80% LTV, then you subtract 3 points. That's a heavy hit. 1 point in the mortgage world is 1% of the loan amount. And that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. So as a recap, what you do with a pricing sheet is you locate the product, then you find the price with the right lock period. In our case, we wanted to do 4.875 and make 0.25 in the back, which is just a quarter point. Typically, you want to be about 0.5 if you're not making any money up front, or charge something up front and give par pricing so that your clients can get the best rate. And then adjustments. For every loan, there's going to be adjustments. And to make sure that you're pricing it right, you might want to confirm it with the pricing engine. And there's another video that I've posted on how to use a pricing engine. So that concludes our rate sheet reading for today.